Wow, wow, wow. You know, just going to crush my childhood. Going to just crush the rest of my childhood. It's all to the good, though. But I'm trying to figure out what is really going on here. Like, because of there has to be something else going on. Because WWE been racist, man. I mean, this ain't the first time nothing like this happened. I mean, Vince McMahon himself called Booker T a nigga, not just a nigga, his nigga, like he owned him. I mean, y'all gonna take all Vince McMahon shit? Y'all gonna take that championship from him? I mean, what is going on, man? Let's go back. Because Hogan was big from the time he came in. From the time he got a match with Andre the Giant fairly quick. You lucky if you go against Andre. I'm talking about before WrestleMania 3. I'm talking 70s. I'm talking about bad guy. He slammed Andre back then. You know? Don't believe the propaganda. But the whole thing is, Hogan was bulking up. Let's talk about how he got his pushed. Like I said, he was big, but then he went and did Rocky, and that just pushed him over the top. And he was pretty huge after he did Rocky, and it still wasn't like he was that guy that he became. So, you know, it ended up happening eventually. But what did it? What did it? What pushed him over to the top? It was the pairing him with Mr. T. That's what pushed him over the top. Back then, wrestling was nowhere as big as it became. And the superstar on TV was the lowest of the superstar was more popular than the biggest of the wrestlers. Like the lowest of the TV show characters were more popular. And Mr. T was the hugest of the huge. The brother, known as being tough, they gave him instant credit. Now the first thing you notice, when you put Hogan next to Mr. T is how big Hulk Hogan is. And that worked in his favor too. All this meant something. So he actually used Mr. T's stature to push him over the top. There was more that did it afterwards that kept it going, and like they gave him Andre the Giant, but had it not been for Mr. T, it wouldn't even have been big enough for part two. So then, the cool thing about it though to me is this now. Now look at this picture compared to the ones we was just seeing. Now that's how we know the man's character, because he was already accused of doing steroids. And matter of fact, not accused, I'm sorry, he pled guilty to doing steroids. That's the first thing they should have showed us, The first thing he should have showed us. This is when he was in WCW, of course, that he wasn't about what he said he was. So anybody shocked about this, get over it. I mean, the man said to say your prayers and say your violence, and he didn't even have to drive to do what he was doing without some drugs. He couldn't go force himself to do it. So don't let him lie to you. That's why he turned bad. When he came back, nobody was buying his truthful act because he had lied to the public and cheated to become who he was. So they made him a bad guy, and it worked flawlessly because people were wanting to hate him anyway for such of a liar that he was. But look at just how smaller this dude was. But it's just really tripping me out right about now because the WWE has been racist. Like I said, the stuff he said, it's just kind of crazy, man. I mean, I'm going to just keep it real, man. I don't want my daughter marry no white dude. I don't want my daughter marry no white dude. But look at this. Look at this. This is these guys in blackface. This is DX. That's X-Pac, acting like Mark Henry. Not only is they're making fun of him, he got this little ape suit on. That's what it is. Don't fool yourself. It's not a bodysuit he got on. It's an ape suit he got on. This is DX. The same people who are fighting him, Triple H, the head of DX. The same people who's trying to strip this dude's name so Triple H's name could be the biggest. Look at these fools. Look at them. These motherfuckers are in blackface. You guys gonna strip these guys and shit too? I mean, don't get it twisted, man. I mean, Hogan is the reddest motherfucker I've ever seen. I don't know why. I mean, we all knew what was up with the Edomite. But I'm just saying, don't let these guys twist you all up. I mean, they use these black people to do certain things. Like they use Mr. T, they use Tyson, they give him a little credibility. Like at the time they brought Tyson in, UFC was kicking their ass. Now look at this. Now Roddy Piper himself is a racist bastard. I'm not going to say he's a racist bastard, but he sure played one on TV. You see, this is what happened. I remember when he was going against JYD, and JYD was just a huge star. Look at Virgil over here. I got your belt, master. JYD was a huge star. The hugest star that's never been a champion has to be JYD. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? I don't even remember him getting the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, Magnum TA was about to get that title, but I mean, he got the US. This man didn't even get a Intercontinental that I remember at least. So I could be wrong. He might have been one for a week or so. Merchandise. See, that's the whole thing. This man had merchandise. Look at the chain over in the corner, man. A little hard to see his face and stuff. I should have adjusted that a little bit better. But the whole thing is, even the original toys they had, one of the rubber toys, he was one of the first few characters. Now this man, Ron Simmons, WCW, crowned him long ago. You see, long years before they crowned the Rock, and I give much props to the Rocks, but I'm talking about like as far as a full house member of Judah. I mean, both parents. I mean, you could tell this is a brother right here. He's a brother. So I mean, he was the first one crowned, and WWE didn't do that till over 10 years later with, I believe, Booker T or Mark Henry. Ron Simmons was a legitimate tough guy, and he was dependable. That's one of the reasons they went with him. He was a new face, and they tried to do something else because there's a lot of brothers in Georgia, as you see, and they know there was brothers digging wrestling, so it made sense to them to pick up on that racket. That which was a good time in WCW. I loved Ron Simmons because he wasn't no sellout dude. He was a tough guy. He wasn't jigabooing, and I even feel like JYD was. I mean, there was all kind of people in wrestling that was doing the Mad Dog Vacon and all these cats that did the Mad Dog even worse than the JYD in my estimation. So I mean, Bobo Brazil. I mean, just look at how they did him. Like how he was in Brazil. Look at him, dignified brother. I mean, he even got the little size of his beard. And I said like he trying to Israelite it out or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to follow the laws. You know what I'm saying? And he's respectable. And he was a good wrestler. And even here, this is a wrestler who could have been champ years ago. Was a Brazilian champion. He was a great wrestler. But look what happens. What do they do to him when he gets to it? I just want to show you this because a lot of people don't understand it. Open your eyes. No black man should be watching wrestling until they change it. Look at that. That's what they did to him out here. Just crazed. He gets to be, he got to be an animal type, Kamala type brother. You know what I'm saying? He got to be like Kamala and the Abdullah the Butcher. These guys who don't even speak English but are really from like Philadelphia and all these places like that. Now look at Coco Beware, fast, good, powerful wrestler. He was kind of strong and he was fast. You know, came in with the bird. He did his thing. People went crazy over him. Kids loved the whole bird aspect. Plus, he was a good wrestler, but that just wasn't enough. Since he was a brother, he had to do something a little more like that. Like, come on, man. You got to do all this stuff. Like, what is going on in here? So you have to realize that wrestling is racist. This is the Butch Reed, you know. He was a good wrestler all down south, you know. Look at him. Basically had a little fro. Sometimes he rocked a little curl, you know. You know, he was a very swole person, strong and everything, and could do moves really good. Matter of fact, Ron Simmons, the first black heavyweight champion's partner as Doom, tag team partners. But look what they do to him when he goes to WWE. You got to be the natural Butch Reed, and you got to have blonde hair. And what's so cold, he was funny as that character, and we actually liked him. I liked him as that character, but it was still a disrespect, and they were clowning. So the whole microcosm, I mean, we've established so many times that so many different, all the owners of the WWE and the WCW were racist. So we know this already. I've showed you this. Now let's watch this. Hulk Hogan is a microcosm as the United States of America. Now look at all these stars that were doing in the 80s, and they have to pay now for all them lies they were telling. All them lies they were telling. Each of our lives. Look at this man. That man is on the juice. The reddest man I ever seen in my life. That ain't eating mine, I don't know what it is. You gonna be surprised that this dude with the American flag draped all across his shoulder is a racist motherfucker? Like, do not fool yourself. You guys think it's hunky dory, and they just basically just threw him out there like they did Donald Sterling, and so you wouldn't think the rest of them is racist. But Vince has done more racist shit on national TV than Hulk Hogan has. Triple H has done more shit on national TV than Hulk Hogan has done on his private. The stuff he said in private, is that as bad as a fool dressing up in blackface, or a fool calling a man my nigga as if he owned him? No, it's not as bad. But America is a microcosm of what the Hulkster is. The Hulk bulked up and got on steroids to win your affection. America got on steroids. They fought dirty wars. They fought wars where they cut off people's electricity, poisoned their waters and their food supplies. And that's what they did, man. And I just wanted to break it down for y'all.